everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 10th, 2022. No, Nick, don't go back to Newman Enterprises. In fact, just stay out of Victor's office altogether. It has some kind of black magic force that is sucking you in. Turn to the light, Nick. Turn to the light. You're so much happier being a man of leisure. Just go back to the coffee house. Help run that place. Help Sharon. Spend your time being cute and kooky and forget about the business that has to make you cutthroat and serious. I don't want it. Why would he do this? Thank goodness he at least gave serious consideration to how this will affect his life, such as how this will affect his wardrobe. Go back to Newman Enterprises, Nick, and it will be no more casual sweaters. It will be no more comfy tees. It will be all business suits every day, all day, from here on out. You're going to be so hot and sweaty, Nick. Suit jackets are made of wool, Nick. Wool! Before Victoria could even sink back down into her chair, she was handing out jobs. Telling Nick that he should come back to the company and work with her. She's probably going to make him a COO, which is just what this town needs. Another COO. I should be hopeful, though. Maybe Nick will take on a minor role. Maybe this is just to give him an excuse to be there sometimes. And who knows, maybe the writers will find a way to let Nick still have that element of levity, and maybe he'll bring that to the serious situation that seems to always be going on in Victor's office, which I like in a lot of ways, but I need Nick to get in there and lighten it up. That's how I like my Nick. I kind of like my Victoria right now, being kind of severe and on a tear. She seemed to somehow glide right back into town on the wings of a bird. Just flew right in there so easily, like a hero. She just glided back in like absolutely nothing was wrong. Like she didn't totally inconvenience everyone and put the company at risk with her whole plan that she told no one about. And everyone just welcomed her back with absolute welcoming open arms. Everyone in the Newman family, except Adam. Except Adam. Adam's over here like, wait a minute. I've been doing your job. We had a press conference. Oh, that's so humiliating for him. How humiliating. Victor tried saving face with Adam, but there's no saving face. They did Adam wrong. Victor tried encouraging Adam and saying, hey, I want all my children to work together. After years of pitting them against each other, he now wants them all to work together. But the implication, of course, is that he wants them all to work together under Victoria. Victoria is the chosen one. She can do no wrong. And Adam is not going to take it anymore. He paid some lip service to the popsicle, but then he ran off and told Sally that if the Newmans think that they are going to get away with how they treated him, they are in for a rude awakening. Ooh, I can't wait for a rude awakening. Enter Ashland Locke. This is so great. So great. Because Ashland also is on a tear. literally, next week he's going to be tearing up that beautiful new athletic club hotel room that we have. Like he's a bad boy rock star or something, tossing over the chair, throwing a glass at the fireplace. Ooh, that's going to be fun. I love seeing him this way. Things are getting interesting. Ashland chartered a plane to Chicago with what money? I don't know. He kind of made a half-hearted attempt to get his $250 million cashback bonus, but his lawyer, I guess, shut him down, said it wasn't going to be possible. The deal was done, so Ashland is out the money. He doesn't seem to be pursuing any legal recourse. I guess he still had maybe a couple of cool $1 million stashed away in his private accounts. I mean, that's chump change, of course, but it's just enough to get by. Ashland returned to town undetected, and he was super crazy, deliciously rude to one of his cronies who he now has watching Victoria's every move. I'm really interested in this new Ashland, and I think we saw just a little bit of a preview of it and how he was treating that employee of his. I mean, the guy was practically begging for Ashland's forgiveness, and Ashland was practically like a king on a throne. He sent the guy out to tail Victoria, find out everything that's going on in her world, and the guy ended up listening in on a conversation that Billy and Adam were having. It was less of a conversation, though, and more of Billy needling Adam right in his sore spot, and it exposed that sore spot to Ashland's assistant there. So that's when Ashland realized that maybe he is in a position to lure Adam into a partnership to get revenge on the Newmans. And even though Adam didn't take the deal immediately, he told Sally that he's no longer even vying for the top spot at Newman Enterprises. His only goal at this point is to see Victor and Victoria crash and burn. Me too, kinda. Victor fully realizes that Ashland's gonna be coming for them, and Victor says, bring it on. But what Victor may not see coming is Adam's betrayal. Ooh. I think the question is, how much of a role is Adam gonna play in anything that goes down? Is Adam going to just sit back and watch and not say anything and let it all happen? Or is Adam going to actively partner with Ashland? Is Adam going to have an active role in bringing down Victor and Victoria? And I'm wondering which one of those you would like to see. Do you want to see Adam seeking active revenge on the Newman family? Or are you wanting to see him continue to play nice? Maybe be a little sneaky, but mostly playing nice. That's our poll question for this week at yrchat.com. Do you want to see Adam being naughty, or do you want to see Adam being nice? I think that now is actually kind of a perfect time for us to see Adam get a little bit of revenge, go a little dark, cause a little chaos. We've spent a good year, I would say, building up the momentum for this, building up Adam's reasoning for this, his justification for this, and I think maybe the time is right now. Because when Mark Grossman took on the role as Adam, which was almost 3 years ago at this point, Y&R tried to make him a baddie right away, and I just don't think it worked, because the viewers, or I at least, needed to have have time to adjust to the recast before we could really maybe get behind and understand and just fully realize Adam's reasons. But I think now, after the past year of following Adam's path and the way that he's interacted with the Newmans, and more importantly, the way that the Newmans have responded to him, I feel like now we're finally here at the point where we've seen Adam trying to play nice. We've seen Adam trying to choose the high road, and we've also seen the way that he's been used and kind of tossed aside by the Newman family in response to that. So I'm kind of betting that the viewers are going to be ready to see him maybe get a little revenge, at least seek a little revenge. That's just a prediction, but I really want you guys to vote in the poll this week so we can see what the viewers really want from Adam at this point. I kind of feel about Adam a similar way that I do about Ashland. I think that Y&R decided to make Ashland a baddie, but it was really only in retrospect. Ashland apparently faked his cancer. He was apparently duping Victoria all along, but the viewers didn't see it. It was a rewrite, and we all know it. I think that now we're actually getting a chance to follow along with the character, and that makes all the difference in how I feel about it. I think the viewers maybe needed time to adjust to the new direction, or I did at least, and now I actually think I would like to see Ashland wreak some of this havoc that he is apparently famous for, but that we haven't really seen yet. It was a little ominous how Jack warned Sally about Adam and his propensity for getting caught up in chaos, and Jack, seeming to take a very concerned role with Sally, advised her to do her best to not become one of Adam's casualties. So that was an interesting scene. And then we also had this very brief family catch-up scene that Jack had with Nikki. And even though those two scenes didn't amount to much on their own, I'm kind of taking that as a good sign that maybe Jack is going to become involved in Adam's life again. I would really, really like to see that connection between Jack and Adam come back around. It's been a long time, but it was a meaningful connection to me, and especially if Adam is burning the bridge with Victor at this point, I think he could use someone like Jack on his side, or at least Jack in an advisory role. Plus, it would give Jack something else to focus on besides being a referee between Phyllis and Diane, which is the track that he's on. Oh gosh, I love Phyllis and Diane. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty great that Diane was able to use her so-called truce with Phyllis to wiggle her way into an appointment at Phyllis's world-famous spa that we never see, but that I want to see. And don't you think it would be kind of funny if we could have seen a scene maybe where Diane actually got her spa treatment and she's all maybe mud-faced and in a white hair towel and she's ready to get her relaxation makeover, and then maybe we could see Phyllis come in and like switch the seaweed with hot sauce or peanut butter or something. I just think that would be a little bit of a fun, kooky scene, kind of in a classic soapy sort of way. I think there's potential for funniness here, and I hope that we don't totally lose it. Michelle Stafford is so capable of comedy, and I hope we don't totally lose that, because it feels like we're headed toward a more serious, far more serious tone here. Phyllis is more serious, more edgy these days. Jack and Phyllis both told Summer and Kyle separately what had happened between them, and of course Diane overheard the more or less details about how Phyllis did Jack wrong, and of course Diane couldn't help rubbing it in Phyllis's face. It's so interesting the way that Diane is very polite and proper around everyone that matters to her, around everyone whose opinion she wants to be high of her, but then she really drops that mask with Phyllis and gets away with it. Nobody ever seems to catch when Diane drops the mask. And yet every time Phyllis drops her mask or blows up or whatever, Jack or someone or Summer or somebody is right around the corner catching her. I actually really loved the scene in the park this week where we saw Phyllis getting up in Jack's face after he saw her having a little bit of a one-upping session with Diane. And Phyllis really took him to the mat. She told him that he was missing out on a good thing and that there's gonna be a day that he's gonna want her back. He's gonna realize that he was wrong. He's gonna want her back, and it is going to be too late. And the other thing that Phyllis said in that scene that I thought was pretty darn good was Phyllis said, "Hey, Jack, you know, Diane faked her death, and yet I don't get the benefit of the doubt." Well, I think that's a totally legit point. Jack doesn't owe Phyllis his heart, but he certainly hasn't been a very good friend to her right now. I mean, they were supposed to be friends, and he's not being a good friend. Phyllis is obviously going through something. Diane's resurrection split open a lot of old wounds for her. And yeah, as Jack said, she is reverting to type. But how about maybe helping her through it? That would be the friendly thing to do. Just, you know, being a friend. I mean, I know that that is hard. When you love someone deeply in a romantic way and there's a breakup, the last thing you want to do is turn around and be friends. But there's decades of history between Jack and Phyllis, some of it romantic, but most of it just friendly. I would think that maybe Jack could find a way to be a little more mature and maybe take the high road instead of feeling so jilted. But maybe that will evolve. It's just sad to me that Phyllis is all alone again. And I know she did it to herself. She blew up her life herself, which she is often to do. And I kind of wonder if she's going to continue to blow up her life. I am wondering if she is going to go further and further. Maybe sell the hotel and go back to work at Marchetti, or go to work, sorry, not back to work, but sell the hotel to Lily and then maybe go to work at Marchetti just so that she can keep an eye on Diane. Allie and Noah are adorkable. But can you imagine having to share a pair of earbuds with someone for hours while listening to a podcast? No. Even if the other person was super sexy and good smelling, that would be so uncomfortable. Even if it was me and Nate sharing the headphones, I don't know. I think that would be pretty uncomfortable for hours on end. And hopefully that podcast was mixed in mono. Oh, those were fun scenes. They really were. They were cute scenes. But to tell you the truth, I'm of two minds when it comes to Noah and Allie. They're cute. They're so cute. The scenes are fun. The actors have done a really good job. I do think they have chemistry. But I'm also not entirely sure that cute is exactly what I was looking for with this Noah. I don't know. This Noah seems very capable of being dark and smoky, you know? And I just can see him being more of a brooding, melodramatic type, you know, kind of like how Adam used to be in the past. And I was sort of excited about that direction for Noah. And while I love Allie, and I think she's a really great addition to the show, I think that in some ways she almost comes off as a kid sister, kind of like a kid sister to him. And even when she's razzing on him, and they have this playful banter back and forth, it hits the same tone as it does when, like, Faith is razzing Noah about something. I don't know. I want to keep Allie. I think I'd really like to continue to follow Allie's career. That's what's interesting to me about Allie. I am happy that she is taking on an internship at Jabot. I love that she's continuing Chemo's career path as a chemist, and that she's bonded with Ashley in that way. I love her getting into the family business. Jabot proper, Jabot basic, the Jabot. I'd love to actually see Allie doing some work, even if it's not on a lab set. I think she could bring some stuff home, and maybe we could see her doing some samples or something. And then, you know, maybe once that gets boring, I think I'd really like to see Allie getting down to the business of resurrecting Chemo. I know, I'm still on about it, and if the writers really aren't going to do that, then fine. If they absolutely refuse to acknowledge that Chemo is still alive, which he is, then I would like to see them maybe acknowledge who Allie's mother is. Maybe get down to the business of finding out who Allie's mother is. That, and what, you know, what went wrong in their relationship. That's the interesting part about Allie to me. And I know this is really crazy, but I almost feel like I'd like to see what Noah and Chelsea would look like as a couple. I mean, I kind of like the idea of Chelsea hooking up with a younger version of Adam and let Noah follow down that deep, dark, smoky path. And yeah, I know Chelsea dated Noah's dad, but so what? Noah's mom's been married to the whole town. Did Elena's Uncle Jet really have vocal cord nodules too? Exact same thing as Tessa? That's crazy. I guess if you're a singer in this town, welcome to your storyline. Vocal cord nodules. All right. Well, Elena was very reassuring that Tessa will make a full recovery, which makes me nervous that Tessa won't make a full recovery, but I'm gonna try to stay on the bright side and hope for the best. She's having to cancel a bunch of shows, though, so her career is totally on hold. And like Kyle mentioned, I was kind of wondering if Tessa taking some time off of work might mean that she and Mariah could start focusing on their adoption plans. But then Tessa said that Mariah doesn't want her to do that. Mariah just wants her to focus on her recovery, which I think is totally a bad move. I think that having, you know, being able to focus on the adoption would be something positive that Tessa could do while she recovers. I mean, it could be a while. I don't know. I could just totally relate to that for Tessa in a way that I couldn't before. I think when you have an illness or an injury, you just want to hurry up and get back to your life. You just want to get past it. But life doesn't work that way, you know? I mean, sometimes you end up getting forced to slow down, and maybe slowing down will cause Mariah and Tessa to take stock of some things in their life, maybe find a different view about some things. But, you know, I don't know what. I guess the question is, what if, you know, once these two slow down, what exactly are they gonna find? Hey, Nate, can I get an aloha? I'll aloha ya any day of the week. thank you. Thank you, Y&R. Did you notice how Y&R did all of those long, slow close-ups of Nate's body? Like they were thinking of me when they filmed it. Oh, Allie's gonna love this. Zoom in on that bicep. Thank you. Just thank you. Oh. We even saw Nate and Elena's bedroom. That's not a good sign. Oh, no, that's not a good sign. Y&R does not go to the trouble of building bedroom sets for one couple to be there one time. The only reason to build that bedroom set is if Imani is going to drug Nate's drink next week and drag him upstairs. Oh, Imani. Imani. She is a sly one for sure. She went and made it seem like she was scheduling a dinner meeting so that they could meet with Newman Media CEO Sally Spectra to talk about getting Elena out of her Ask MD Now contract so that she could do podcasts for Hamilton or Chancellor Winters. And then Imani, the sly one, never invites Sally to the meeting and instead makes a dinner reservation for 2. Hold on a minute, back up. Devon sold the athletic club? When did that happen? Did we know this? Or is this news? I don't remember approving the sale of the athletic club. Well, Lily tells us this week that she wants to buy the Grand Phoenix Hotel. And if Phyllis won't sell, then Lily's just going to open up a competing hotel right across from the street. I don't know. Lily did run the athletic club for Devon when he owned it, so I can definitely see Lily wanting to build a hotel empire, but she probably won't have time to be involved in it. I absolutely think this is going to happen. I think that Lily is going to buy the Grand Phoenix on behalf of Chancellor Winters, and I kind of wonder if she's gonna put Billy in charge of it. Maybe she'll see this as a way to keep his restlessness at bay. Maybe this is the thing that Billy is reaching for and has been kind of alluding to. I could totally see Billy being the new Grand Phoenix owner, like chopping it up with the guests and pouring drinks at the bar. I think this could be just the thing that he's looking for to kind of lighten up his spirit. And I think it could also lighten up his podcast content and give him some new creative ideas for his podcasts. I mean, that ought to really drive Phyllis crazy. Can you imagine feeling like she's been pushed out of the hotel that she built? Because it's possible Lily will take a strong arm about it and Phyllis will feel pushed out. But it wouldn't be like Phyllis to just give in. But I mean, she built that place, right? Didn't Phyllis, wasn't it her grand idea, the Grand Phoenix? You know, she was rising from the ashes. She built that place from the ground up, as a matter of fact. I would think Phyllis is going to lose her mind even further. And then Amanda's going to be stuck right in the middle because, Lily's her boss and Phyllis is her best friend. And boy, Amanda has a lot going on right now because she's also decided to take on the task of being her sister's keeper. And we saw a little preview that she's going to continue to do that next week too. Michelle Morgan was so good in all of her scenes this week. She was breaking down under the stress of what's going on with Naya. I mean, she's got that on her plate right now, and Amanda's got a lot on her plate right now, and none of it is interesting. Sorry. Michelle Morgan is great, but none of Amanda's story is interesting. The Naya stuff is all off-screen drama. And I'm having a hard time connecting to it. And I'm also kind of having a hard time connecting to Amanda's constant harping on Imani because I think it's kind of none of her business. Michelle Morgan's great. She's an Emmy Award-winning actress, and I love her. And I do also love, I still feel enthusiastic about Amanda and Devon. I think it's been great the way that Devon is totally there for Amanda. It's nice to see. I think that Devon and Amanda need like a vacation or something. They need a getaway, some romance, something to spice things up again. Maybe like a picnic. Right in the middle of Chancellor Park. In the busiest spot in Chancellor Park. Like Chance and Abby. Chelsea is giving up her entire life's career in fashion to become Billy's podcast editor. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, he has got 2 podcasts. That's it. She's going to run out of things to do in a week. What's up with this? I don't know. I'm a little sad that Chloe and Chelsea have decided to dissolve their partnership right when I was finally getting a sense of what exactly they do and how they work together. And I'm also really offended that Chelsea would burn Lauren like this. After Lauren so graciously gave Chelsea a second chance. Chelsea straight up stole from Lauren's company. And then, probably just for Chloe's sake, Lauren took them both back. And now they are quitting? Right before they've even launched the clothing line, Chelsea is pulling out because she can't emotionally handle it? Sorry, Lauren. Sorry. I guess you're going to have to find some less flaky designers. Meh. Chloe's going to be fine. Chloe is going to land on her feet and into Adam's bed. I can feel it. Yes, I can feel it. The Chloe, Adam, Sally triangle is coming. One way or another. Sally and Chloe are going to stay on at Newman Media doing whatever it is that Newman Media does. And then both girls are going to be tag teaming to try to reel Adam in. And it's going to turn up the heat from there. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'll keep on wishing. But I still got to do some more wishing for Chelsea, because how in the heck is Chelsea going to make a career out of being Billy's podcast muse? Why would she turn down the Marchetti deal too? Like, if things aren't working out with Chloe, that's one thing, but why would she turn down Marchetti? Marchetti is now the only fashion business in town, and they're brand new. They need people to work there. It seemed tailor-made for Chelsea. I'm kind of guessing that maybe Marchetti, the whole Marchetti even being here thing, is all about maybe creating some infighting between Phyllis and Diane. I really kind of think Phyllis is going to go work at Marchetti, because she did say something like, well, you offered Diane a job in the PR department. Was it the same job you offered me? I think she's going to take the job at Marchetti and sell the hotel. And then the Marchetti thing is just going to be all about Phyllis and Diane infighting every day. And then who knows, maybe Lily will end up asking Chelsea to run the Grand Phoenix Hotel just to keep her away from Billy. That's probably it, because Chelsea was briefly partnered with Phyllis and Abby running the Grand Phoenix Hotel. And that was before her criminal past caught up with her and caused a hostage situation in the lobby. I do know what it takes to make the sausage. I thought that was a really funny line. Apparently, it was a very hard one. The answer was Chloe. Chloe and Chelsea were debating back and forth about their very different yet complementary roles in their fashion business. And Chloe said, I know what it takes to make the sausage. That was really tough. Only 5 people got it right. So, extra congratulations to Henry, Tony, Naomi, Juanita, and Tony. You guys really know what it takes to make the sausage. How about this line for the week? I think you're going to get it. No one's ever accused me of being timid. Who said it? No one's ever accused me of being timid. If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. And now let's get to your comments. This is the fun part, starting with Diana, who says, I am looking forward to Chelsea working with Billy. I think Chelsea and Billy are definitely headed for romance when this takes place. As much as I love Lily and Billy together, I would like to see sparks fly between the 3 of these characters. I think Y&R chose Billy to pair with Chelsea because he's not married to Lily. I believe Y&R thought about pairing Chelsea and Kyle, which is why they had Kyle and Summer make Chelsea the job offer, but then changed their minds, likely because Kyle's married. Yeah. A storyline I would like to see take place when Chelsea and Billy begin working together is Chelsea growing closer to Johnny when he gets back from boarding school. Chelsea teaming up with Billy gives her the opportunity to interact with Johnny at Billy's apartment. I have always thought it would be realistic if we saw Chelsea thinking about her biological son that she gave to Billy and Victoria. She's the birth mother and they live in the same town. Victoria could become very jealous and worried about Johnny starting to bond with Chelsea, which could be an interesting storyline. We need storylines that are not only about corporate battles. Oh, yes, Diana. Yes, on all counts. I think you're right that Y&R almost started that storyline with Kyle and then maybe pulled out because he was married and then flip-flopped over to Billy because he's not married. And then you're right, we do have this ever-present yet never touched storyline gem of Chelsea being Johnny's biological birth mother. That would put Billy kind of smack dab in between Chelsea as, a potential girlfriend and Victoria, the ex-wife. Victoria could become very jealous about this, could give Victoria even a little something more to do outside of Ashland universe. Very good. Well, GC Buzz says, I'm really digging the new actress playing Summer, Allison Lanier, but Michael Milor seems bored, disinterested, like he doesn't want to come back, but finances or something compelled him. I don't know. But whereas he used to outshine Hunter King as Summer for me, now she outshines him. She seems like she's excited to be back to be on the show and has instantly, in my opinion, made the role her own. But Milor seems to me like I'm just cashing a check. So I'm disappointed. Oh, GC Buzz, I totally agree with you that the new Summer has made the role her own. That is totally true for me. I've not noticed that at all about Michael Milor, though. It seems to me that he's maybe playing it with a little bit of malaise, maybe trying to tap into a sad child kind of emotion, because that's mostly what he's going through right now. But Sue W says, I gotta say you nailed what I've been trying not to think. I've been wanting to attribute what seems to now be Michael Milor's general malaise as the character of Kyle being so gobsmacked by Diane's return that he must revert to a zombie state to process it all. But hopefully that's it. Oh, okay. So, yeah, so we both had that sort of same, I guess maybe I'm noticing it and didn't think about it in that way, but I hadn't attributed it to the actor being bored. I assumed it was a conscious choice. Gary says, I don't especially see Kyle walking through the part. I think he's fine. He's laden down with Summer and a child that shouldn't even be his. I agree. Kyle should be on the swinging singles scene. I'm not touched at all by the love and devotion he has for Harrison. This young character needs his freedom. If Kyle doesn't do the right thing and run away from his responsibilities, he will be Jack Abbott in 5 years. You know, that's a darn good point. That he is kind of on the Jack Abbott path, isn't he? Well, maybe Y&R just realized that they needed a little more time to make Kyle single, and that's why they gravitated away from the Chelsea maybe breaking up the marriage kind of storyline. It also didn't look good on Chelsea to now be going after another married man. Maybe they realized that, but maybe the fact that you guys are picking up on that is a signal that Kyle will be finding himself, I don't know, not drawn to Summer. Maybe the drama that goes on at Marchetti will be the straw that broke the camel's back of his relationship with her. Sherrod says, I enjoyed Kyle being enthusiastic about going to Tessa's concert. He was like a happy big kid. I think this was the first time that any resident of Genoa City said they were attending her concert. Well, except for Cindy, Tessa's biggest fan. What happened to Cindy? Bring back Cindy. She was fun and she appreciated Tessa's potential. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. I never thought about it, but people in town don't really ever talk about these performances that we're being told that she's having. Oh, well, Diana says, I look forward to seeing Imani go out to dinner with Nate and seeing the look on Nate's face when he sees it will just be the two of them dining out. Imani will make up an excuse as to why the other party will not be joining them, but I find this storyline juicy and quite compelling. Nate has finally become interesting. If you recall, he was quite boring and just a pretty face. Sorry, Allie. I'm glad that Y&R has given Nate much more of a personality. I'm sure Nate will give in to temptation and sleep with Imani at some point, but hopefully not right away. I want to enjoy seeing Imani scheme and manipulate situations in order to get what she wants, which is Nate. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous if Nate doesn't figure out that Imani has set this up. He's going to show up at the restaurant, Sally's not going to be there, and then Imani's going to be putting the moves on, and Nate's not going to notice. He needs to notice. And it's funny, too, that you think that it's going to be kind of a long game of Imani trying to get Nate over time. I was going right to drugging his drink. There was a part of me that thought, oh, she's getting desperate, and she's just going to go for it. I can't see it being a very long game. I think Imani's ready to make a move, and she's ready to do it now. They're positioning her as a one-dimensional villain. I mean, they've given her no other perspective. And then next week, again, we have Amanda harping on her. So it makes me think that Imani's about to do something bad. Which is too bad because I did really enjoy the lovemaking scene between Nate and Elena, and I feel very invested in the triangle that could be between Elena and Nate and Imani. Elena and Imani are very different women. I mean, Imani is very bold, and Elena is very subtle, and I think the two personalities contrast each other very nicely, and I like that Nate is in the middle of that, and I like them both. I mean, I really kind of, you guys know I love Imani, but I really love Elena too. So there's a conflict there. And as Diana said, Nate's finally become interesting. I don't debate at all that he was just a pretty face in the past, but Y&R, I think, has done a good job of giving him story. And we'll just see where it goes. Well, let's switch over to a different topic. Last week, I asked you if you think that Victoria made a good move or a bad move against Ashland. 55% of you thought that Victoria's move was a bad move, that she's going to end up regretting it. And you guys may be right. It may be sooner rather than later. Henry voted bad move, but I'm glad she did it because this will allow more of Ashland on screen. He will get revenge, and it remains to be seen just how he will go about it. She will regret it, but Victor has her back. It's time for more intrigue and suspense on the show. Well, Marianne V voted with the 45% who thought that Victoria made a good move, saying only because of what Ashland did to her and the Newmans, but she will pay for this. Ashland will get even. He isn't penniless. He had his own money coming into this. I can't believe he would not keep some money stashed away in case the deal fell through. Yeah, it does make sense, because at first, Marianne V, I thought, well, where's Ashland getting this money? But maybe this was the fund that came from his business, and he still had personal money set aside too. So he may not be $500 million rich, but he's still rich. If he's chartering a plane, he's still rich. Naomi says, so Ashland is back to the dangerous man he was rumored to be. He was sarcastic, demeaning, and very much like Victor Newman. The poor lackey that Ashland was chewing out looked like he wanted to run home to his mama. I will place my bets on Ashland at the moment. Victor is rusty with this type of enemy since he and Jack gave up their hate-filled vendettas. Victoria has never been tested in this type of battle, and she better buckle up. This makes me wonder why Nick isn't worrying about Nikki having a flare-up with all of this stress. Oh, I loved Ashland in the scene with the lackey, and I also really love Ashland in the scene with Adam. It's very clear that Robert Newman, the actor, has brought it up a couple of notches. I mean, we are seeing him in a totally different way. He no longer has to play it as, well, maybe Ashland's a good guy, maybe he's a bad guy, whatever. He's embracing the fact that Ashland has a reason to be a bad guy now, and he's coming back with all hell broke loose right behind him, and I think it's just great. I'm so interested in it. I really also like that you mentioned that Victoria really hasn't had to deal with anyone exactly like this before. It was kind of cool the way the lackey said something like, oh, I think somebody said, who is it that you want to tail, the Newmans? And he goes, no, my wife. It kind of, it's like, you just, Victoria's never had to deal with the likes of this. And even as Ashland was recounting it to Adam, he was saying, I was kind of impressed with the way she did it. So there's a part of Ashland that still loves her and wants to win, and just still wants to win. It's both. I love her and now I want to get her. Which is what makes it very, very compelling. And again, I think Robert Newman's hitting it out of the park. Diana says, does anyone else agree that Ashland is looking younger and more fit than when he first came on the show? I definitely like him better without the beard, and it's very visible that he has lost weight and has also been working out. He looks more like Victoria's father when he first took over the role of Ashland. It appears he's colored his hair, which makes him more attractive and looking more suitable to Victoria's age. This makes me enjoy his character even more now, as I was missing the previous actor, Richard Burgi, at first. Totally, Diana. Is this the first time we've talked about this? Because I feel like I think it every single week. I don't know if anybody's brought it up before. Robert Newman has totally lost weight. He has, his hair is different. He looks more tan. He definitely looks more fit. He looks like a different guy. I mean, he almost kind of went away for a little bit. He was off screen maybe for a week or two, maybe after the fake cancer was revealed. And as soon as he came back, I was like, wow, he's been working out. So yeah, good on him. He looks great. He really knocked it out of the park this week with all of his scenes. And I think that much like we were just talking about with Summer, I think that Robert Newman is now getting a chance to really make this role his own, really make a mark on it. And I think he's doing it quite successfully. Daisy says, Victoria created the problem for her family, so I don't think she should have been reinstated. But since she was, I hope Adam resigns and goes off on his own rather than stay and plot his revenge. And if he's partners with Ashland, he will lose any hope of success anywhere. So hopefully his revenge will be a successful new company of his own making, and bonus would be him partnering with Devon when he leaves Chancellor Winters. Oh, that's interesting, Daisy, a Devon and Adam partnership. I think I just have to say about your initial comment here, Victoria created the problem for her family, so I don't think she should have been reinstated. I mean, yeah, I really cannot. It's just incredible to me that there's no recourse for Victoria whatsoever. I mean, not only did she create the problem in the first place by marrying Ashland, bringing him into the company, making him the co-CEO, letting him, get the upper hand, being, duped, which, I feel bad for her about. Obviously, Ashland did a very good job of it, but she was the cause of the problem, and then she was heralded for resolving it, the problem that she herself caused. So I definitely don't think that Victoria should have been reinstated. I think that in a perfect world, Victor maybe should have distributed the positions a little more evenly, maybe a co-CEO type position, because it could have been interesting to see Adam and Victoria share the position and go at it with a power struggle, but that's clearly not the way the writing is on the wall. This is Adam's chance to get started on his revenge plan, and Ellen says, "Don't toy with us, Adam. Are you really done with this nest of vipers? Fingers crossed." That's what I was thinking too, Ellen. Like, okay, are you really? Is it really? Because on Thursday he said they're in for a rude awakening, and then on Friday he said he wants to see Victor and Victoria crash and burn. And I was thinking the same thing, like, please don't let this just all be talk. I want some action behind this talk. My fingers are crossed too. Hey, Victoria says, it'll be interesting to see if the new Sally Spectra will navigate toward Adam's dark side. Will Sally continue to build her credibility as someone to be taken seriously in the business world, or will she put her priorities second and scheme with Adam to bring down the Newmans? Oh, this is a great question, Victoria, because it almost seems to imply that Sally is going to be trying to rein Adam back in, the fact that she had that scene with Jack, and she seemed to really take it to heart. And then the end scenes with them on Friday, Sally was looking very much concerned. So you're right, it really does create an interesting choice for Sally. Will she continue on trying to rehabilitate herself in her career, or is she going to jump right along board the revenge plan with Adam? So is Sally's priority going to be her career and her own reformation, or her love and wanting to build partnership and go along with Adam? So that is interesting. Sharita says, I feel sorry for Adam. I feel like Nikki needs to encourage and embrace him like she does Abby. They do not give Adam any credit for having changed and helped them. Perhaps it's an unpopular opinion, is that there's no reason they couldn't have Adam as COO and Nick and Victoria as co-CEOs. Let Nikki be an advisor like Victor, or work for No Hope Fundraising. I don't want him to team up with Ashland, though. Maybe Adam can team up with Victor somehow to get over whatever Ashland is planning for revenge. And then I think Victor would need to force Victoria to get over herself and work cooperatively with Adam. What has Adam honestly done to Victoria that she hasn't done to him? It's incredible how much they embrace Abby and her mom Ashley, who actually broke up their parents' marriage, and Hope did nothing but take care of Victor when the world thought he was dead. So why does Nikki hate Adam so just because he's Hope's son? It makes no sense. Oh, this is a great... I just am blown away, Sharita, by the idea that Nikki should be encouraging and embracing Adam like she does Abby. Because wouldn't that be a crazy twist if, let's say, stuff goes down between Adam and Victor's very mad at Adam and disowns him. What if Nikki suddenly stepped up and she became a motherly figure to Adam? Wouldn't that just rock your world? I think that would be so cool. It would give Nikki an opportunity to do something loving. It feels like Nikki is clomping around town a whole lot lately, just getting up in people's faces. There's always somebody she wants to tell off. But if things go down poorly between Victor and Adam, and Nikki were to step in there and try to actually build a bridge between them, try to give Adam some good advice, maybe talk positively to Adam about his mother, I think that would be such a really interesting evolution of the character. It would just be unexpected. And then maybe Nick and Victoria they can continue to be like meh, 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 about Nikki really taking Adam under her wing. I think that would be beautiful. And Sharita, happy birthday! Happy belated birthday, in fact. Your birthday was last week, July 5th, and I had it on my calendar to wish you a happy birthday last week, and then I got all crazy getting back from my vacation, and I was scrambling to get Y&R Chat together, and I didn't get a chance to give you your birthday shout out last week, so here it is this week. Happy birthday, Sharita! Oh, let's talk about Nick, because GC Buzz says, I'm so mad at Nikki and the writers. Nick is contemplating going back to work at Newman Enterprises. Really, Nick? You've decided you want to bring chaos, anger, and disappointment back into your life and mine? And Nikki said something like, you have to do what makes you happy, but I know it would make your father very happy. What? Yes, it is inconceivable to me that Nick would want to go back to Newman Enterprises, and you put it perfectly. You've decided, Nick, to bring chaos, anger, and disappointment into your life. Okay, just to make Victor happy? Okay, I thought we were over that. Gary says, I couldn't believe Nikki's major selling point was, it would make your father very happy, which she said more than once. Who gives a flying fig? It would seem everyone who has ever held a professional position is now being moved into something else all at once. Y&R wants to reposition its cast for better interaction, I guess. But will this actually pan out, or will we continue to rarely see any of these people anyway? This is the nail on the head, Gary. This is exactly what's happening. They're repositioning the cast all over the place right now. I mean, everybody's moving so that they can have better interaction. And I get that, and I'm willing to allow that. I hope that in Nick's case, he's taking a more minor role in the company. We just need to have him an excuse in an advisory role just to be able to bop in and out of that office. He needs to have an excuse to bop in and out, but he does not need to be a driving force. We also, I really clearly think Phyllis is about to move. I think we have Chelsea moving. We have Chloe moving around. It's interesting. And you also bring up a good question of will this actually pan out, or will we continue to rarely see them? Because at this point, I don't know what any of these companies do. I mean, I'm not saying I want to see people actually doing work, but I don't feel we have a sense of it. The only thing that we know they do is podcasts, and Marchetti does fashion. So we're in the business of podcasts and fashion. And don't get me wrong, I love both of those things, but I feel totally clueless about what Chancellor Winters does. Totally clueless about what Newman Media does. They don't have fashion or podcasts. What does Newman Media do? And then Newman Enterprises, I mean, truth be told, I'm not sure I really ever knew what they did. They buy and sell companies. I don't know. They're a conglomerate that buys and sells maybe real estate. I don't know. But we don't really get a sense of that. And maybe this is where Y&R is working us. Maybe they're, trying to build up, three companies and giving people a chance to interact. And that is a good thing. So I think we do just have to get over the leap. There's a little bit of a chasm here that we have to leap over to get where we're going. And I am going to be patient and assume it's going to a good place, because I think Y&R has done a very, very good job of repositioning cast so far in various other ways. Tina Cole says, I don't want corporate Nick that is brought back into the fold of Newman Enterprises. It just reminds me of Dark Horse Nick. I love and want goofy, dad joke, carefree Nick. I say no to angry, needs to protect and get involved, serious Nick. Also, will Nick be abandoning his son Noah at New Hope? All Nick's job right now is to have a fun time with Sharon and make me smile with a great sense of humor. Yeah, Tina Cole, I feel the same way. Nick's job is to make me smile and have his great sense of humor. And I don't don't think we're going to lose it. I have faith that Y&R's and that Josh Morrow will continue to find a way to bring that to the character. But you're right. As soon as Nick walks through that Newman Enterprises office door, he becomes overprotective. He is blustery. He is threatening-y. And it's just not what he does best. It's just not what Nick does best. But it's funny, too, that you mentioned Noah at New Hope, which Sharita called No Hope. I don't know if that was a typo or not. If it was intentional, it's brilliant. No hope. Yeah, but what is going to happen with Noah? What exactly does Noah do? Noah's been bouncing around quite a bit, too. So maybe Noah will end up following his dad. I mean, they made vague references to Noah staying at New Hope, but I can't imagine they're going to do that. I mean, if the point is to get the cast to interact, I would imagine Noah would have to follow along soon, too. Noah would be a better fit for a Newman Enterprises job. I could see Noah getting in there and being a little dark, but I think he has a softness about him too that I also don't want to lose. I guess it's all about balance. Diana says the problem with Nick working at New Hope was that we never actually saw him working. That's what was lacking in Nick's character. He hasn't had a storyline in a very long time. So maybe if he works at Newman, we'll actually see Nick at work and facing challenges. He can still be fun-loving Nick as well, so that we get the best of both worlds. Yes. Sharad says, are the writers of Y&R having a joke at our expense? I'm sorry, I'm not all about corporate America. It seems that every character on the show now works in the business world and are either a CEO, a co-CEO, a CFO, or a COO. The only people not in that world are Elena, a doctor, Sharon, coffee shop owner, Tessa, a singer, and you also mentioned Chance with the police. Is this a jab at the actors saying, look, I'm making you feel important by giving you a title? Because they're certainly not paying them properly. Ooh, I mean, this is so, it's hard to not notice this, especially within the last 2 weeks. All of a sudden, Chloe goes from being a fashion designer to a COO. Billy got that COO position. Nate got his COO position after being a doctor. Yeah, everything has just shifted into business titles, and I love business stories. I mean, I should be the last person to be complaining about this, but it becomes a little trite when everybody's just a COO or a CEO. I mean, there are other, I mean, even, okay, let's say they like corporate America. These are the stories. I mean, I don't work in corporate America. I don't have a particular fondness for it, but those are business I'm interested in business, and those are the types of stories that do speak to me. But there are lots of roles within a business that aren't leadership, and maybe that would have been a better route for them to go. Just the fact that they're handing out COO titles to everyone, it is just truly trite. Truly, truly trite. It makes them meaningless is what it is. If everybody's a COO or a CEO, then everybody's important and nobody's important, you know? T. Nicole says, I think it looks completely unprofessional and embarrassing on Newman Enterprises to announce a new CEO as Adam for a week and then go back to your old CEO, Victoria, but now, you know, no longer co-CEO with Ashland or Nikki. The company looks disorganized at their executive level with no clue what they're doing. I cannot believe that Victor went to the trouble of doing the press conference and all of that was just meaningless. I mean, I really think the point, though, of that is it's meant to make Adam humiliated. We had to make Adam's humiliation complete, but with the, oh, we're going to make a big announcement. Look how great Adam it is. And then they're just going to quietly shuffle him off to the mailroom. I think that was meant to give us more reasons why Adam is going to be justified in seeking revenge against the Newmans. And I am looking forward to it. Well, let's end up here talking about Phyllis. Jamie says, ooh, baby, I am hopeful that my girl Phyllis goes into full-on scorched earth mode at this point. It is completely understandable that she has some long-buried trauma and rage from Diane's past dirty deeds surfacing and combusting. It is beyond me that her circle is judging and punishing her for not buying Diane's reformed act and for still hating her. Everyone has the right to resent and choose not to forgive those who have wronged them. Phyllis has firsthand experience in the former baddie that hurt a lot of people department. Phyllis has firsthand experience in the former baddie that hurt a lot of people department, as well as a robust resume as the town pariah to show for it. My girl never had the irrational expectation that Cricket or Paul or Victor or Adam or Sharon or Sally or any of her once upon a time foes forgive her and be buddy-buddy. Phyllis having a checkered past of devious behavior doesn't negate her resentment toward Diane, nor does it exclude her from feeling hurt and betrayed by others. Do you, Phyllis? Do you? Yeah, man, Jamie. I mean, I'm kind of there with you. I do feel like it's real easy to pile on Phyllis because we watched her blow up her life. But, I mean, the fact that she blew up her life over the span of, 3-4 weeks doesn't negate the fact that she's had, a really great long path of reform well before that. It's been a long time since Phyllis was a baddie. I mean, she does naughty little things here and there, but the level of deceit that Phyllis had in the early days is long past her, and I think that she does deserve more credit than she's getting right now. And it is unfortunate that just because Phyllis is presenting the other side of the coin when it comes to Diane, that it's causing her to be ostracized by the people who should be there to support her. Oh, this is fun. Daisy says, I think it would be fun to have a Nikki dream sequence where she and Diane are pro wrestlers. And Nikki has Diane in a headlock. And Phyllis, of course, is the MC and breaks the bell. I kind of love that idea. I love the idea of the fantasy dream sequence. See, I think maybe Y&R is missing the tone a little bit here. I think that there is an opportunity to make the rivalry with Phyllis and Diane, and yeah, Nikki too, be a little bit lighter and a little bit more fun. I mean, on the level of dream sequences, or even like, as I mentioned before, the spa dream could have been a dream sequence here. I mean, everything is very severe and very sad and very like high stakes with this rivalry. I think we could stand to lighten it up a little bit. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Y&R Chat, and I hope you go to yrchat.com to leave your comments and vote in the poll. What do you want to see Adam do? I have a feeling what I think he's going to do, but I want to know what the viewers want, so that's going to be a fun poll for next week to chat about. And there's going to be a lot good to chat about next week. Can't wait to see this dinner with Imani and Nate if we ever get there. Can't wait to see how all these people shuffle out. Is Phyllis going to sell the hotel? I mean, it does definitely feel like a period of Y&R reshuffling. I mean, we get that every so often. It's one of the things I think that I like about the show is they're never afraid to move things around, and I think it's kind of necessary so that it doesn't get stale. So I think we've got a lot to look forward to, and I'm looking forward to coming back and chatting with you guys about it again next week. I love you, and I will see you next Sunday.